Title: Rekindling the Canadian Ethos, a call for visionary leadership and national reawakening. Canadians are warriors who have yet to fully grasp their inner nature. Canadians do not need bad leaders to tell them about their lack of inner nature or lack of adult qualities, lack of historical value, lack of warrior soul, or lack of personality or lack of identity. We are like the Olympians, striving with resolve and spirit. Our purpose not just to win but to inspire and demonstrate the power of collective strength, perseverance, and grace. Just as Olympians show the world what they can become and the performance they can achieve, as they show us during the Olympic Games, Canadians embody Olympic virtues in all walks of life, and that is why millions of people left their home countries and even families to move here throughout the 20th and 21st centuries, to basically be in a successful culture with evolved, timeless, and highly capable individuals, warrior and competitive ethos. Show a Canadian a gun, and they will buy 10 before they've even shot one. Sometimes the logic is iffy when it comes to shopping, but the warrior spirit is revealed within the soul, and then they will send photos to all their friends all over the internet about their wonderful possessions. Canadians value possessions. It's part of our identity, in case the leaders are interested to know, which some leaders love to take to strike the cultural and technological progress of the citizens back down to zero. This warrior spirit isn't merely physical. It extends to battles Canadians win every day, fighting against obstacles like the corrupt pharmaceutical and food industries that cause unending weight gain to millions of people in North America, perhaps up to 40% or more. Yet Canadians persevere, winning battles at the gyms, in professional development, in schools, in parenting, in community service, in environmental protection, and even in arts and culture. The list goes on, and the Canadian spirit never wanes. We don't need a vast military, border, or police force. Our warrior cunning is so ingrained that we've tricked Americans into thinking we have no fangs. Our strategy of being meek has deceived all the military powers. You can drive around the city really fast for 5 hours, and maybe you'll find one cop car. But if you anger them, even Americans visiting know the cops will find you quickly if you misbehave in Canada. Who needs excessive security when our competitive, educated, and responsible mindset imbues safety? In the 70s and 80s, North America boasted 5 Silicon Valleys. Though leaders shipped out all but one, we Canadians persevered. North America lost over 55,000 manufacturing plants due to our short-sighted leaders' aspirations for a little bribe, but we still managed to develop ourselves and protect our families. We go to war every day in every aspect of life. In Alberta, we craft an economy with only the USA as a trading partner. Amazing. When leadership pits the provinces against each other to sink Alberta, Alberta fights back with historic might. There are many leaders around the world that fold when the tyrants come, but not Alberta. Other countries need 50 trading partners just to stay afloat. We do it even without work or exports, since we are not allowed for that type of progress. Despite our leaders preventing 21 energy projects from deploying in Canada, we still strive, unflinching, developing our websites, our bodies, our finances, our businesses, our skills, and our networks. We volunteer to make films, build apps, and perform without pay for motivated citizen leaders who plan to build the business, tech and media economy startups in Canada. Government barriers don't deter us, even if it makes the leaders rich and us poor. We are still kind and gracious for their efforts. Even if leadership in government makes immigrants and millennials pull through alteration of the supply-demand curve in the housing market, we still power on to build a better country. Our attitude is unflinching, and that's why we will succeed. We're in it together to win it together. Failure is not an option, as they say. We've provided universal education at the degree level, making it accessible and empowering to all Canadians. We lead in platforms like YouTube, music, blockchain, and financial blockchain leadership. We don't need millions or billions of dollars to innovate. 20 Canadians will happily join a project to build something together and build a world-class project for $0 investment. Canadians believe in each other and give each other opportunities. The real underground merit way. Think https://skillsgaptrainer.com as an example. Our doctors, even those who are 60, 70s, or 80, work non-stop to serve us. There is no old age in Canada. When the government boosts immigration beyond housing construction speed, conservative leaders rise to fight for housing rights and intelligent use of land and accountability in house construction for those that are trying to prevent a higher housing building speed than immigration speed. We go to war for each other, but we must remember that war is dangerous and evil, and kindness is not how you treat evil. If you spot evil in leadership, such as the leaders who are trying to juice the real estate prices higher rather than lower, or incompetent leadership, it's your responsibility to vote it out. You choose the leader and what the leader does, not the other way around. It's not true that the leader chooses what the people do. That's only true in China, and with the global leader's aspirations. That's not the type of leadership Canadians grew up with. It's not the type of leadership Canadians were taught is the right form of leadership. So then, why accept it? And why adopt it now? We remember the genius engineering of the past done in America in the 60s and 70s aerospace age, but we've witnessed a 50% decline in our global standing. The G7 wealth standing is now parity, 50%/50%, with BRICS wealth standing, even though the BRICS nations were only about 10% just a short while ago. We must change our downward trend and rise again. We can reverse the trend so the West doesn't fall to the bottom 10% while the East rises to the top 90%, as is projected they will achieve by 2040 by 2050. We need the right strategy, the right commander, and the right leadership team. This is the solution for us, because we've seen amazing work by small Canadian media and tech teams, and what they can do versus the big well-funded players. Our overall wealth is down. But it's not too late to act. We must choose leaders that will allow the Western Canada to do business, that will tolerate house speed construction increase in speed, and even consider changing immigration as necessary to achieve optimal standard of living for all, to lower inflation and make our standard of living soar. Most importantly, we need a battle commander and fierce team that wants to show what it means to engage in historic leadership. It's time to mobilize for war. Everyone knows it, either directly or at some level that they might not admit. You hold all the cards. You choose the leaders. Only when leaders trick you into voting for them do they choose themselves. But when the right person fits, you'll notice, and Canada will defy gravity once again. Your action today can change the future. Mobilize with a conservative battle commander and command officer team that actually wants the job, that is keen to address the challenge, that knows how to be a professional performer, that is ambitious and responsible. Write history instead of being written over by history.